It's the new Power Mornings with Letty and Teddy on Power
Oh,
106.
clap it up.
Oh my goodness gracious. We have the man himself. His name is his name, and his name is King Push. And yes, it's almost dry, you fiends. It is here. The album out now. Pusha T, thank you for coming through.
Come on.
I learned all my references from you. I hope you know that. You are my teacher.
Okay.
I have uncles that are narcos, yes, but you're my teacher.
Yes. Okay. I appreciate that.
No, Pusha, thank you so much for checking in with us. The album is out now. Clearly, off jump, I have to tell you, I have never felt a song give me that like the this face or like that screw face the whole way through than how you started the album with Brambleton. Like just top to bottom, like straight through, not just some bars. Sometimes you're listening, you're like, ooh, yeah, but it's like from beat to bars all the way through. You hit us from jump. That was intentional. It had to be.
Very much so. And I'm gonna tell you that the whole idea of starting with Brambleton, because basically the song is a story, but I took the idea of starting with the story like Notorious Big did on Life After Death. So that's why I started with the story. I'm like, I always thought it was so like, it was like just really brave to start off your album
Right.
with a story versus you just being super braggy, whatever the case may be. And I felt like when I made Brambleton, I made a record that like was strong enough to hold that spot.
Yeah. And even just talking about like low key, I've never really heard you say you were hurt, but that was like on some real homie stuff. It hurt you with that ex-associate. And so for you even to start that album, it showed me, oh, this album's different.
Yeah. Man, I think people when you've been in the game for so long, like, people need to know the real. Like they need to know the real. And then in this social media age and people have so many opinions and they hear all these things about you, like you have to be able to talk and convey and communicate like just how you feel. It ain't even always about the drama of it. It's like, man, I want my fans to know like, man, that it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to watch. It didn't feel good to see. And honestly, my loyalty is like my biggest asset to me. And just to show, I wanted just to show guys that like, man, even in being loyal in a street sense, people take your loyalty and they really run with it.
Yeah.
Like, you think that we working as a team and he call it working for him. It's like, man, I'm thinking we doing this for the betterment of the whole squad. And, and I just wanted to put that out there for the people who are in positions like that. Cause, I'm a team player. I ain't always the man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing wrong with not being the man, like, cause if you know your role and you know how important your role is, a lot of times, the man will look at you and be envious of you because of how well you got it together.
That's incredibly put. And I just gotta tell you, Push, like the way that you were being so vulnerable again on a song that makes people like this the whole time is similar to how like Kid Cudi can be so vulnerable about his emotions on a song that is like EDM happy. You're like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Oh my God, what is he really talking about? That's kind of how this feel had me working with Pharrell literally on I feel like you really gave him his space to collaborate with you the way that he knows how on the album. But was he able to even get that concept wise? Like, okay, this is where I want to go with it. Add the sound to it.
Oh, for sure. All I did was, all of our songs started with a conversation. It all started with like a story or me telling him my perspective on something because I got to get the mood right. I got to tell him the story so he can find the mood in the music. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we created that. Like on top of that, then when it comes to the raps, I want to say that I was produced the whole time.
Man.
Like I was produced from top to bottom, even lyrically. I would like lay a verse and he come in the studio, he'd tear the whole verse down. Like, no. And he was like, man, it ain't the words. It's the character. You ain't being a character.
Yeah.
And you can't come. I don't want you coming out of character.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And so mind you, I'm in there, I'm laying the verse, I'm in love with it. and he'll come in and just be like, rip the whole page off
again.
and yeah, and be like, no, it ain't. Listen, and then he'd be like, man, it's you. He'd be like, listen, I ain't say the words is whack. I'm just saying you're rapping at me, you're pointing at me. You're not being, at the time we were watching the Joker, the movie The Joker.
That's crazy.
And he was saying that, like, man, you are Arthur Fleck. Like, you laugh at the wrong things. You have like a very calm spirit, but it's a very, at the flip of a switch, it goes left. He was like, this is who you are, and you need to rap like that. That's why when you hear some of the songs, I'm just talking very matter of factly, and I might be saying the evilest things in the world, but it's like, nah, like, it's not, this isn't rap no more. It's the embodying of, a character and the emotion.
Is that who you channeled the whole album, or just like a specific song?
Nah, the whole album. The
Word.
whole album was Arthur Fleck. Yeah.
Because that's one of the craziest.
That's why you hear the
yeah.
That's why you hear the laughing throughout the album. That's why you hear the, just the a lot of the flows, or like the flows and cadences were very playful, regardless of what I was saying. I could tell you the worst thing in the world, but you listen to a record like Call My Bluff, and it's very lullaby. Da, 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 da,
that was so
But,
intentional. That was you hanging out the window, enjoying like the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I could send some shooters over there if I wanted to. They know.
Yeah.
Now, was that intentional, or like was that the first time that you guys came to that understanding of like, no, this is a character and fully be invested in that character, or was this just the first time that it was a Joker? The last album was a different character.
Nah, this was the first time. See, for me, when we started the album, I started the album with Pharrell, and I had brought him a couple records. Well, the actual Hear Me Clearly record.
Oh, okay.
It was one record. I brought him Hear Me Clearly, and I let him hear it, and he wasn't impressed. He was like, man, you do that in your sleep all the time.
Wow.
Like, oh, okay, another Hot 16. Wow, Push. Yeah, great. And I was like, I'm looking at him like, what you? He was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds great. You want to do a whole mixtape this time?
Right.
Like,
wow.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, whoa.
Damn. I'm going to drink some bars at you,
Pharrell. Yeah. So I was like, yo, well, what is it? He was like, nah, he's like, man, we trying to take this to the next level. You got to be a character. Like, we got to like really embody something. So we just talked through that. We just talked through that a lot. And then we got to the point we would play. We were watching the Joker just for mood, in the studio. Right. And I was like, man, this is an ill movie or whatever. We just watching it. And then it got to the point we would turn off the sound and he would put the music to some of the ill scenes.
Wow. Next level shit right there, Push.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, see, this works. You know what I'm saying? And that was just like the whole like process.
Oh, that's crazy.
Some super creative stuff. Yeah.
Is that like, are they? I feel like there's only 3 people that can tell you that your verse is whack and you'd be okay with it. Pharrell, Ye,
and
your brother. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah. No. Puff. Puff for sure, and the Dream. Puff and the Dream are two other people who I take like I listen to because they're like, again, they're all producers. I came into the game with producers. Like, I've always known the art or I always known how important production was versus beat making, and what the real role of a producer is. Even before I got into rap, I used to go to the studio and watch Teddy Riley point at Pharrell and be like, no, this, no, that. And I'm something that I think is like great. And I'll watch this, I'll watch somebody like Teddy telling him like, no, that's wrong, and it needs to be this way, and it could be bigger this way. And I always say to myself, well, damn, if I watch P take direction, then I can watch everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, then of course I got to take direction as well.
Right. Oh man, you talked about the record like Call My Bluff, and again, it's fun, but it's literally like, hey, not everything has to be addressed, but we can really address some shit nicely. but you know who I'm talking to. I feel like especially in rap, and this is not like, if anything, you're the epitome of like, I see what you're doing, and I'm gonna nudge you and let you know that I see you, and if you want war, then I'm here. I feel like there was some nudges in there, Push. Not gonna lie, but I do think that you are very strategic. You're not necessarily, and I know you got into character kind of being like the more maniacal villain character, but you're also very like, the people that need to hear it different are going to hear it different. Call My Bluff is definitely the center of conversation that I've seen a lot. Is of course this is something you created. Do you like where the convos are going now? Where people are kind of going of, is he talking about certain people?
Oh, I mean, I think a lot of that comes along with rap, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. This album, y'all know I be centered around drama, like all the time. Like there's always beef. It's always, whether it be the Drake stuff or whatever. It's like, listen, it's whatever with me. Like I don't run from it. I don't hide from it.
Right.
Whatever. I specifically didn't put that energy on this album because it's like the album was going so good, and that was such like a dated thing to me. Right. Like that was 2018. You know what I'm saying? And and I did what I did. Like I really did it. Like I did everything I did, and I stood on it.
Yeah.
I ain't let nobody. I did what I did. Like that's just what it was. So on the album, I was like, man, I'm not going back in time. Like this ain't like, it would sort of make me kind of washed to me. You know what I'm saying? Like sort of corny. And at the same time, it was like, I actually have the two probably best producers in hip hop right now. I'm not wasting that on that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like, it was old. It was old to me.
Okay, Push, because that's not even where I was going. But I'm gonna tell you.
No, but I'm just telling you.
Listen,
like, I'm
please.
Just,
Because my little rap nerd, my little rap genius, got into like. Okay, so look, Pharrell. I already know just the history of I think with you, and when it comes to you, Push, you have a very, I don't know if you know the Pac song, You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me. It's like your enemies are my enemies. Like, don't even worry about. I know you're more, and I would prefer go to war with you than you go to war. And I know just even the Pharrell and Wayne stuff, there's a stuff there that you were like, let me take it, right? Let me go. And I know for Kanye, sometimes you gotta be like, all right, bro, you need to stop beefing with people because I go to war for you, and then you just end up happy with them again. However, I do know there's a certain rapper that constantly goes at Kanye, and I always feel like what's gonna end up happening is Push is gonna go to war, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, because the bar that we said was like, I wish I had fans like Cole. I'm a Cole fan, and I hope you can tell I'm a Push fan. I will be cut in half. I will be cut in half if something happens. So that's low key like where my brain was at, and honestly, I don't think he's ready. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, oh man, like nah. I even that bar was just. I was actually on the road with Cole.
Yeah.
And the bar was just like on Call My Bluff. The bar was speaking to like how, just me being a rap artist and being a street rap artist. The places that I go to, and the places and the venues and the energy, you got people that are fans, but I find myself competing with the street sometimes. I come up on people who like, they gotta like show me that they are that guy, or say something a little bit, left. And it was just a portion of the song where I was addressing that, and I was saying, I wish my fans were sort of like were more like J. Cole's, but Dope Boys gotta be the man, like they know, you know what I'm saying? But like, okay,
so you're not saying that I'm not a man, right? If I'm a Cole fan,
no. I'm saying that like, when I've been on the road with him, and even in after parties, like we go out, like even with his crew and stuff, like the energy surrounding those places and those venues was always so like good and inviting, and just like like they're really there to praise their guy, When I go out, it's like they love the music. When they love the music, they love the energy, but they also still trying to flex or show me or
That's
say this.
funny,
So,
bro.
and it just goes left. It's like, just think about it. Think about how, think about how like you always hear about the guy who belongs in the VIP. And then when you don't let him in the VIP, where does that go? It's the, those situations and those, that's all I was speaking to.
Okay, well, I would just like to thank you.
Nah, man.
Pusha T, my stomach hurt. I don't know if you can see me, which camera you can see. My stomach hurt. I was like, oh my God. If it's gonna happen, I'm gonna be sick.
Right.
But yeah, thank you.
Nah.
Now, I'm just going to do a quick recap of what I've heard through this interview and the promo run. So, subs is not your thing. You don't do that. You've done that. You've been there, whatever. Seems like you're on a positive light. You're saying, I didn't harness that energy in this album because for what? Seem like moving forward, 2022 push, you grown from the beef. Like, that's what we're getting from here. Like, it's going to take something extreme for you to get a response from you.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it. Like, it's not, it's not nothing I got to keep revisiting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And anybody who knows me knows I move on my time. Nobody puppets me and moves me anyway. Like, I do how I do when I want to do it. Nobody can tell me this. Nobody can tell me stop. Nobody can do that.
Damn.
And in being in those and in being involved in situations where it ain't just like that, it's like this shit ain't really. I mean, excuse me.
Now you can say that.
Really like a. Oh, okay. It's it's, bro. I'm over it. I'm over it.
There's like a fearlessness in that though too. Like you mentioned how you're on your 8th wind. Like you've already done so many different things. Yeah, it was in a duo, in a group, on your own, like presidents of this, and just behind the scenes on that, freaking behind a lot of our favorite jingles, things of that nature. Does it surprise you how many things like you can like count down, or is it something like you want to do? You want to be known for more than just one thing?
Well, for me, man, this music where this thing comes from, it really started over the stove for me. Really. So it's like, when I look at it, I'm looking at it like, man, yeah, why wouldn't I do this commercial? Why wouldn't I do this jingle? Why wouldn't, like, what do you mean? Like, dog, yeah, my homeboy's still doing time. He on his 14th year.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't even ask how long no more. Man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but with all that being said, it's like, why don't I, like, who am I to like not perpetuate this street music and street hip hop and take these opportunities and move it forward and show how far it can go, show how far we can progress, show how far, like, where it started from. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, when you talk about, like, man, I'm from an era where they didn't show rap at the Grammys. I remember when one of my first nominations, I had to go to some ceremony a day before.
Damn.
And lost or whatever. But to 2018, actually being nominated for a Grammy and actually, losing to Cardi B. But the fact that Daytona was next to the popular, charismatic Cardi B, next to the
Victory Lap was on there too.
Travis Scott. Yeah, Travis Scott. Me and Nipsey was at the Rock Nation brunch before that. It was like, yo, they didn't let some real ones in here.
Do they know what's on these albums?
I mean, listen, we were like laughing, like we were just laughing crazy. I'll never forget that, man. Mac Miller, you know what I'm saying? He was in the category as well, and I just felt like, it was, for me, it was like, man, I was in awesome company.
Yeah.
And the streets was like, the streets was represented, you know what I'm saying? amongst the popular and everything else.
Yeah.
Man.
You talk about like even just talking with Nip. I know one of the last times, I think besides that one, was there was like a sound check or something, and you guys were at like the same sound check area. I think you were sound checking before he was. It was like a rehearsal thing. And I remember you guys taking a photo and just talking to each other. Clearly, it's a brotherhood. It always is. Yeah. But it's a different level when it's really like you said, like the Carfax checks out. The stuff that we write is really stuff that's in our history. You know, do you see like with Nip, you guys had that? You guys had that peer beyond rap.
Yeah, like I mean, to me, it was just so authentic. Like I knew Nip was authentic. I knew he was authentic, and I knew he was like, you know, pushing the agenda forward. And I was watching him do it, and that was his goal. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, my goal was like, oh, you know what? I got to make sure that like street rap like really lives in this East Coast lyricism, blah, 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 you know, and making sure that could be up next to whatever else is going on. Nip was on like, yes, you know, people got to know what this West Coast culture is like. But you know what? On top of that, I'm going to do the Black Wall Street level of, you know, just empowerment and everything else. It was, you know, it was just really strong, and just watching him push that agenda forward. And I think we both were looking at each other like we're getting our point across. Like we're both getting our point across. And I mean, just with that being said, like we definitely we just had a fond like respect for one another. For sure.
Oh yeah, that showed for sure.
Yo, Push, with the new album, right? We always got to find some kind of motivation on why we release projects, or why, even not just like as an artist, just like in as humans, right? We got to get that motivation. I feel like you don't have to anymore, right? Like anything from here on out is the cherry on top. So what lit that fire for you when it came to this album? Like, was it a person? Was it, you know, what was maybe the messaging? So maybe you can answer that for us, bro.
I think that the fire is still having the itch to compete. And I tell people a lot that, you know, when I stop competing in rap and just start existing in the rap space, then I'm gonna bow out.
I got you.
But until then, as long as I'm competing, and like I said, like as long as this Pusha T level of language can stand up against whatever's out there, whoever's out there, who's new, who's popular, what's hot, you know, this fundamental level of hip hop, you know, I feel like I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna still keep competing, and like I said, you know, as long as I'm competitive, we gonna be here.
It's like when Kobe said, like, you'll never catch me averaging 16. Like, nah, once it gets to that point, I'm out. Like, you won't catch me.
So
I love that. I love that he said that, man. That's ill.
That's a bar for the next.
Come on now.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Is that a bar on the next album? Because if it is, Big Ted
Dog,
it's not.
It's not. We're not throwing you no plug.
No, I don't even check. I just want a shout out. That's all. I'm good.
But to that point of like competitiveness, do you feel like you get the credit that you deserve as a lyricist? Like, I think a lot of times people try to like compartmentalize you as a street rapper, as the drug rapper. But no. When it comes to putting the pencil to the pad, like, do you feel like you get that just due as like, no, I'm one of the best lyricists in the game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I really do. I think that people know, and I think people know it and respect it. I think my peers know it and respect it, even when they don't show it. You know what I'm saying?
They're hip.
I think that they're aware. They're all aware.
You gave me some of the best relationship advice, or actually breakup advice on My Name Is My Name. You said you should never question if you deserve to dance with them. I mean, you should never question if you deserved a chance with them. The better question is, did you enjoy the dance with them? It's about, did you have good time in the moment? Forget if you deserved it or it didn't happen or it didn't work out. Push, you're a relationship coach, bro.
Yo,
just
listen,
so you know.
I think tapping into those bars really helped my fan base,
Yeah.
especially my female fan base for sure.
Right here.
I always say all the cool girls love Pusha T.
Facts.
The cool ones who hip, they know what's up.
Oh my God, say that again. I'm gonna use that as a drop, whether you say my name or not. No, but they were talking about competitiveness. You know, there is a different feel. I think even moms go through it after having a baby, but your family, of course, you and wifey, the queen, you guys had baby bricks. Did you feel like, I wonder if I still got it as a dad? So I have 3 boys, and my husband was like, he has his own lane, but I know, and I saw him feel like, I'm a dad now, but can I still be me? Like, and did you have that too, as like Pusha the rapper? Like, this is your first album as a dad.
Yeah. You know, I think that that was the most impressive part of creating this album, because usually I'm outside and in the mix and like in the world, and I'm pulling these instances from somewhere, and I'm showing people, like, you know, I'm highlighting the places in my travels and so on and so forth. This album was really had a lot to do with, you know, it had a lot to do with real experiences, but I wasn't out as much. I wasn't out, and I had to really pull the creative imagination and just pull all of those pieces together. That's where I was like, man, I'm really the Martin Scorsese of street rap. Like, you know, like, I'm like, whoa, like this is turning into some movie type stuff. And I think it's good to tap into that, you know, and that's what I'm looking to do more. Just tap into that creative side. I was sitting with my brother recently, and somebody asked him what he thought about just rap today, and he was like, man, you know, I actually really like it, but the one thing I hate is that I feel like the streets is really following these artists into rap. He said, I've never lived through a time where so many rappers were locked up or so many rappers were dying. And he said, I hate it. He said, wow. I hate that. He said, man, man, you know, he said, you know me, like, you know, I listen casually. He said, but ironically, I love Pop Smoke. Like, I was into Pop Smoke. Right. And he was like, before I knew it, he was out of here. Yeah. He said, then I got into King Von. He said, you know, my son, whatever, I'm into King Von. I'm like, okay, you know, I get the bop. And he's out of here. He said, after that, I stopped listening. He was like, I gotta chill, because he didn't like it. He didn't like it. And I'm speaking to that because I feel like, you know, rap always started in a real place, but it has to evolve into entertaining, into like tapping into the creative channels to keep it going forward. This ain't, you know, I'm really not, we all come into this being the realest in the room.
Yeah.
But we have to like really like harp in on the business and really take advantage and live and create a legacy. And, you know, and I just named 2, you know, that, of course, y'all know I was super close with Pop or whatever, and I didn't know Von like that, but it was just weird to hear my brother, who's on the outside, you know, just hear his take on it,
his observation,
and it was and it was I was like, wow, you know, this is the perspective from somebody who's been in it, who's out of it, and tried to even, you know, and found it, like, you know, found that it was good, you know, found something good, and it was like sort of yanked away from him twice. He spoke on it, you know what I'm saying? You know, I think, man, we got to keep it creative.
Yeah.
To that point, I wanted to, or I guess to your brother's point of like the state of hip hop and like kind of the changes of it. On a song, I believe is "Let the Smoker Shine the Coupe." You make a reference to being the Dr. Seuss of cocaine, and like Letty, I'm a, you know, rap genius, super rap lyrical nerd.
Right.
And the first thing that you know, the juxtaposition of something so street with something, you know, a kid's author. That leads me to the transition of today's state of music, where they'll say, you know, it's a lot of drug user rap, and you know, the previous generation before is drug dealer rap, and you being King Push, you know, making those type of references. What do you say? What is your response to, you know, that transition in between the music and kind of, you know, seeing the, you know, whether it be all of the rappers that's kind of just using like the drug music and the heavily influence on using drugs? How do you, you know, as an elder statesman in that previous generation, how do you speak to that transition?
You know, I think it's never to. First of all, I want to say that you can't glorify either side of it. You know, you can't, whether you the user or the dealer, I can't glorify either one. You know what I'm saying? Because in all honesty, like, we all addicted.
Wow.
Like, in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we've been, like, I was addicted to the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't glorify it. You just have to, you have to acknowledge, to me, you just really have to acknowledge the culture and of what's going on in today's times. There is a lot of drug user rap going on. And all you can do is be, I mean, like for myself, man, just be a elder statesman and show them how long you can really be in this. And you know, they know that that's not my program.
Right.
But you know, I always want to, you know, present myself in a way in which they can look at me and be like, damn, he really been here for 20 joints. He really is competing. And then they come up with those things like, oh, wait a minute, he casual, he don't really get down like we get down. And, you know, and I feel like people in their own time mature and then they start putting little pieces together, and you see the transformations. You see the transformations of just somebody who realizes like, oh, you know what? Some of these habits I need to scale back on. I need to scale back on some of these habits and grow and get myself together a little bit. I think I've seen a transformation in quite a few rappers. But it's not to kick them. It's not to kick any of them down, no, man. That's just the culture of what's going on today.
Yeah,
we've seen it. You seen the same thing. During the disco era, they was getting busy. You know, disco era, they was getting busy. Yeah, 80s, they was getting busy. You know, then people was, you know, got into the hustling. It's a cycle. It's a cycle, man.
What do you say to people that try to blame your generation? Like, you guys sold it to the kids, and now this, as a result of all of the music you were talking about, now look at all of the. What do you say to that criticism? And
man, I mean, listen, bro, to try to pin anything on just music, that is a very, very irresponsible way to try to make something be accountable for,
like pass
for
the
something
buck
that's
off
so
to,
yeah. Like this is society, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all know, we all know how this started, when this started, how it started.
Say that.
We know what's up, like. And we know what the first initial profits was really used.
Come on now,
they got shows on
like,
TV about it.
Now.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like, we gotta, like, let's just, you know, let's let everybody be accountable. And listen, beyond that, you know, everybody, all the power people in the Rockefellers and all of those power families. It all started with something illegal, illicit,
talk to them,
so on and so forth. We you know, people of color are the ones who just, you know, we never got to capitalize like they did.
Man,
just to be honest with you.
Stop blaming Push. That's what he wants to say.
Yeah, don't blame us.
Push, man.
You know that. Don't listen. We gonna wear it. We gonna wear our time. We gonna wear everything. But don't come blaming.
Yeah.
Fire.
No, give him credit though, because low key, I pray for you. I love that record. Like, look, Malice gonna pray for you. Me, not so much. But I know you mentioned about how like the top 5 keep your myth alive, That is so fire to me because it even just I know who the top 5 are or like
no. That was my brother who said that.
Your brother said that about you?
Yeah.
Wow.
My brother. No,
about
my brother
him
said that on the song. Yeah. He said he was saying today's top 5 is only strengthening my myth.
Yeah.
Like everything that y'all think is hot right now is only making me seem like a god.
Hold on. That was Malice rapping?
Yeah.
I thought that was you. Damn. My bad. I love that though. I love the whole like at least giving
I can't wait to tell him that it was
Take the credit.
No, I legit thought that was you, but it was fire to like end the album out like that. Like kind of like I took you guys through this storyline and here I'm gonna end it with like a woosah. Like but and it's angelic, but it's still bars. You know?
Mm-hmm. Nah, yeah, Malice was the whole second verse.
Yo, Malice
go re-listen to it and
Malice
listen to
gonna be
what
like,
he's saying.
I don't even rap all the time, and when I do, people think it's you. Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, album is almost dry.
It's almost
Pharrell
dry.
versus Ye.
Fire.
You know, fans like us, we try to like Easter egg it, and we think we know what you're saying and feeling, but I think we got to go straight to the source, right? You've worked with these two gentlemen for years now. Obviously, with Pharrell longer than Ye. But what type of push do they get? Like, what type of push do you give us from working with them? Like, when you work with Pharrell, what does he bring out in you? And when you work with Ye, what does he bring out in you?
Great question.
Well, you know, when I'm working with Ye, it's he's very focused on my lyrics, and he honestly, in his production method, he wants me to just rap for 1,000 bars and give it to him. Then once I give it to him, then he wants to craft and construct and find the hook and mold it into what he wants it to be. And with that comes a lot of editing. He'll like take bars out, and I'm like, bro, how you take out that bar? That's like the firest bar. He's like, nah, it's gonna be a bigger song with you. If I replace that with, you know, the more repetitive part, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a bigger song. And it's just the production process. With Pharrell, he is very tedious with him because he wants to make sure that the hook, the B chorus, the flows are all sticky. And when I say sticky, it's just something that stays with you throughout the whole song. So if you don't have a sticky moment in all of those different segments of a song, it gets very tiring and tedious because he's gonna try to find it and make you find it. And you know, that's where the process can be long and drawn out, or it can be quick. But it's tough. Like, Pharrell is always batting for the fences. I don't care if it's like, you know, it's funny, he references Pac a lot because he says that Pac only made hooks. The verse was a hook.
Damn.
The hook was a hook. And he was like, man, you wanna know why Pac really out here right now? Like, you know, why we referencing him and we talking about him and we, you know, we looking at these songs. He said, because the whole song was a damn hook.
Wow.
And, you know, and he's like, man, we need to be, you know, he'd be like, man, we need to be shooting for that, but our version. And, you know, he gets very passionate about, like, you know, outdoing and making history and like, man, we got all the codes right in front of us. We stupid if we don't try to, you know, mimic it or find it or, you know, do our version of it. They didn't show us. You know, so he's really determined.
Shout out to P, man.
To P.
Yeah.
All the P's. Pusha and Pharrell.
All of them.
And Pusha P.
Right.
Speaking of.
Yeah.
Dude, Pusha, it's been a blast talking with you. I could only hope that if you ever come to LA, look, I know you got some Mexican connects here already. Shout out to Lulu. But I want to be another one too. Like, come through the station. We would. I have a trillion questions, dog. Low key, I love your take and just your position on just life in general. I feel like so many people could learn from it. Yes, we do know you as being the street rapper, but I also know there's so much that you have to give. And I would love to just grant the space for you to just give it to us, dude.
For sure, I'll be there soon.
Yeah, you
I'll
got to
be there
pull up
soon.
on us,
Soon
man.
we can connect soon for sure.
Yeah.
We got love
Sorry,
for
I'm
you.
even over Zoom now.
No, you
Nah,
good.
listen,
Hey,
that don't
carne
matter.
asada tacos on deck.
You
Do you eat meat?
said what?
Do you eat meat or are you like vegan?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Freak yeah.
There it is. Hey,
He's
by the
vegan,
way,
that's
if McDonald's want to do a little diss track, we got your back. Don't even worry about the rebuttals.
Facts.
Just let
Alright,
you know
that's
right
what it
now.
is.
All right, bro?
Facts. We
We
riding.
got you.
Yeah,
It's
of course he eats meat. He got the meat.
pause.
Yeah.
I just want to pause this whole thing.
It's okay.
Because when you asked
I love
him,
meat.
good for you and good for your husband. But I'm just saying, when you said it, I was like, Push, I got you. Don't worry about it, bro. Listen, it's almost dry. Go stream it. Go stream it. Go crazy,
Go
bro.
get
Listen,
it.
yay. It's
Fire.
Pusha T. What an honor and a privilege. Next time you hear, like Letty said, you going to stop by, bro. Maybe
Yeah.
even DJ a little bit. I don't know. It's on you.
Wow.
Love.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate y'all,
Pusha.
man.
It's the all new
Love.
Power Mornings with Letty and Teddy on Power 106.